Hello, everybody. Oh, Stephen Avery, Brandon Dassey, the case will bring you to tears. Once you dive in, you can go deep, it seems painfully clear. How the state pled their case on the press conference day for all to hear. Convicting two innocent men on evidence that now disappear. We got lawyers talking, we got lawyers touring, they're traveling miles and miles. We got viewers viewing, we got people scouring, poring over case files. We got a lawyer tweeting, we got judges cheating, playing smoke and mirror. All the while, two innocent men's lives, they slowly disappear. Do a favor for me, forget everything that the state has told. You got to understand, this case goes well beyond Avery Road. Oh, if you ever see the signs of tyranny, either far or near, if you turn away, it's your own freedom, your own justice that will disappear. All right, that's the man, Stacy Seabrook there, folks. That's his newest one. Love Stacy. Everybody go over and subscribe to Stacy, subscribe to Tracy, subscribe to Paul. And the reason why that's important is because all of these folks I've just mentioned are going to be at Rally this year, and you're going to want to be able to have them going live from their phones. So they need to hit that South 1,000 subscriber mark to do so. So please help them out. Obviously, today we were supposed to be here talking to Scooby. We're going to be talking more about that discrepancy between the 85 profile and the 2006 profile. And she was going to be explaining pretty much, I mean, I've reviewed the material myself a little bit, what she's planning to talk about and the articles. And I get it to a certain extent, but I don't get it as well as she does. So I'm not going to sit here and try and tell you guys all about it. So I'm going to wait for her tomorrow, most likely. Sundays, she's finally going to be able to probably find some time to be able to do this. She's having a little bit of stuff going on in her life, folks, and it's personal. I'm not going to share, but she's got something going on. So we're not mad at Scoobs. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to talk to her. So what we did is we changed gears a little bit. We're going to go ahead and talk about, MaM-A-Thon here. Here we are, post-MaM-A-Thon. You guys see the panel here. A lot of the people that had a lot to do with MaM-A-Thon. And two of the people very much behind the scenes that you guys didn't really see a whole lot of, and that is Julie and Finn, or Pom Pom, as you may know Julie. So they were also, you obviously saw Julie in, she did her presentation during one of Tracy's lives, and so people did very much love that. And we're probably going to be talking a little bit about that here tonight, because that was a very popular segment of MaM-A-Thon. Finn was helpful in many ways behind the scenes, just helping keep things coordinated, helping in the voiceover in the promo video, which was really brilliant, which we were also helped out on by Falcon Apata and also Tracy's daughter, Ashley. Ashley, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So those, I mean, brilliant work on the promos that we had leading up to this event that, really helped, continue to make it a success. And it was a very huge success. And we're going to be talking about that later in this video, more towards the end. Some of you may have seen Tracy's video earlier, but, basically totaling up all the amounts of stuff. But we are going to go ahead and be covering that a little bit later. So we're going to be going over some of the favorite parts. As I was saying with these folks before we started, the live, I was saying that really for me, being that I kicked it off, the first thing was when TikTok MaM-A-Thon came on, and the first thing he started saying was, first I want to ask all the people that are, I want to ask that anybody that's 14 years old leave the room and blah blah blah, the way he did, mimicking King Kratz in the press conference. I got to say that had me rolling. I thought that was freaking hilarious and brilliant. I love TikTok. He's great. He's got a lot of just really smart stuff, and he's really doing a great job on Twitter over there creating awareness. Any thoughts on TikTok at all?
Well, as I said before, I actually missed a lot of that because I was preparing for my own segment, and then I was sleeping during the second time. And I meant to go back and listen to it, but I just haven't had a chance. But I'm going to. I'm going to back to listen to all that I missed. I'll probably do that while I'm on my drive to Syracuse.
And that segment that she's talking about, folks, is her chat with Michael Cicchini. Cicchini. Sorry, I want to make sure I say it right.
Zucchini.
Not zucchini. I know it's not zucchini. Anyways. Sorry. But anyways, she had a very interesting chat with him on her first kickoff. Well, her first live in the sequence there. And it was very interesting. I was listening to it as I was getting ready to go live myself, and I intend to go back and listen to it in full. Probably tomorrow, because tomorrow's Sunday. I'll have a little time probably to do it. Anyway, so anyways, you obviously can speak about that part because you were there.
Me?
I would say, right?
Yeah. I again, the first thing I'll say is that if you found that segment interesting, definitely consider buying Michael's book, because he goes into it a lot more detail. He covers a lot more topics than just what we talked about during the live chat. I tried to cover the things that I knew that were relevant to what we're seeing in Stephen Brendan's cases, but there's still a lot more that he covers, goes into it a little bit more in depth. As I said then, it's not a book that's going to give you a lot of hope, that's for sure. It's definitely not an optimistic book, but it's a very realistic view of the problems in the justice system, especially in Wisconsin. It's an eye-opener for sure when you have a defense attorney that is essentially saying that judges are going to go out of their way to find a way to deny a prisoner a new trial. I mean, they will find exceptions, loopholes, anything they can to just try to find a way. I told them that, I said it felt like when judges look at these things, the first thing they're thinking is, okay, so what can I come up with where I can deny this, instead of looking at it with an objective, fair-minded jurist eye, I think is the way I put it, which is how it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't seem to be what's happening. Now it seems like it's something and they're already thinking like, oh, okay, what kind of crazy thing can I come up with so that I can deny this? And that's very frustrating. And you could hear, from him too, being a defense attorney, how incredibly frustrating it is, because it feels like you're up against, you're fighting a losing battle right from the get-go.
Right. Yeah. He like I said, a lot of the things I was hearing him say were very interesting. So for those, for those who recall, that he was very interesting. There was, many other parts. Obviously, Julie had her presentation, and she's muted. Oh, there you go. Hello.
Hi.
So she did her presentation. So obviously that was very well received. It was very popular. There were quite a few people talking about it on Twitter, I noticed afterwards. So that went very well. Why don't you talk to everybody about your presentation a little bit, or hit some of the high points of your presentation?
I was actually surprised that it was such a hit. I mean, Travis suggested it to me, and I thought it was a really good idea, but I was worried that everybody was going to be like, "Oh my God, this is boring. I feel like I'm in class," you know. And then, I reviewed it and I made sure that it was perfect, and I even had my fiance look at it, and he reviewed it to make sure it was okay. And the very first slide had an error on it. I was completely mortified, totally threw me off. I was like, "Oh, please don't tell me this is how the whole presentation is going to go."
It happens. Show must go on.
Yeah, it must go on. And I kept going, and it ended up okay. But I was really surprised. I had a lot of people email me and ask me for a copy of it.
Yeah.
So I sent it out, and I'm really glad that it was helpful. It helped me when I was learning the stuff. So
Right.
So thanks, Travis, for suggesting that to me.
Who should be here, but he's being a little wuss right now. Anyway. Oh, here he is but he's there. He's in the live chat though.
Yeah, he's in the chat. You should join us, Travis.
Should be here, dude. So, anyways, so then we also probably moved to one of the big high points again would be Tracy's daughter being on, talking about what it means to be, a forensic examiner in Wisconsin, and moving. I think she's moved. Would you say she's getting her? Well, she's getting her her degree here to become a medical examiner. Is that what it is?
You're never going to get this right, are you?
I might. Hey, you know what? I might still need to catch up on some sleep I missed last weekend. I don't know, but so I may get a few things wrong. I do apologize.
Next Saturday, she'll actually be graduating with her master's in medical legal death investigation, and working as an MDI for the last year, both with the Dane County Medical Examiner's Office here in Wisconsin and the Onondaga County Medical Examiner's Office in Syracuse.
There you go. Okay, hear it from the proud mother, because she's going to give it to you straight. Better than
her undergrad degrees are in forensic investigation and biology. So that's where the connection to forensic investigation comes in. And then she decided to specialize more in death investigation. So that is working for the medical examiner as a medical examiner's investigator. So not for the police department or not for anything, working for the ME as an investigator.
Right. That's cool.
She won't kick any bodies in the head.
Yeah,
you're not no kicking bodies, and yeah, there you go. I still can't believe Krat said that.
I know.
Anyways,
she can pronounce time or can pronounce death. She can sign a death certificate. So she definitely does have to ensure that the person is in fact dead, but kicking them will not be her formal way of doing.
She was saying that the old guard is kind of falling off quick, right? And they're replacing.
To me, that was probably the most hopeful statement of the week, was when she said that she obviously gets job listings for MDIs, and there have been a lot of listings for Wisconsin, and she said it's actually probably the most popular right now is Wisconsin looking for MDIs, and she said the reason is because a lot of people are retiring. And I said, well, that's what needs to happen. You need to get out with the old and in with the new, in with people. And the fact that they're advertising for MDIs who are specifically educated and trained in this area, and not just using cops who took, a weekend seminar in forensic investigation or whatever. You have highly trained, people coming into the field now. And so that is also a very good sign.
Yeah. Right. I believe, I agree. I do agree that the old guard kind of going away and the way things were done, giving way to people like your daughter, I think I'm feeling good about that. So, very good about that. So that's cool.
And she did say that Manitowoc County was looking for an MDI, but
well, maybe she lets somebody else take that one.
Yeah, stay away from that, please.
I don't know. They could use somebody good.
She's
true.
She's very optimistic, and she's very passionate, I think is what everybody liked the most about her, how passionate she is.
Yeah,
and her first thought was, well, maybe I can be the one to go in and straighten things out. Like maybe I can teach them a thing or two. And I was like, corruption runs too deep, and like I appreciate
That's what I worry about, right?
but I think you'd be up against
Would she end up feeling like Deborah Kakich?
Yeah.
Basically run off.
She would not run over as easily as Deborah Kakich. If you do,
No, she wouldn't.
She's very strong-minded, but I wouldn't want her to deal with something like that.
But who would? Yeah, just wouldn't want that drama, right?
Right. When you're
just trying to do my job, folks.
If nobody has her back, too, being the new kid on the block isn't easy.
Wouldn't
if
be
there's
fun,
nobody.
Right? So, but it'd be a feather in her cap if she, comes out victorious through the adversity, though. So,
well, I thought that her most insightful quote was when somebody asked about the corruption in her field and what she thought about it, and she said, "I just don't think it should be that hard to not be a shitty person." And I was like, wise words, young lady. I mean, really, and it is that simple. It shouldn't be that hard.
Right.
It shouldn't be that hard to be a trustworthy, person that can do their job correctly and, without being corrupt. It shouldn't be that hard.
Right. Well, you'd think. But then again,
you'd be wrong.
They get away with this stuff because when it really comes down to it, well, at least me before this stuff, I wanted to believe that all police officers and district attorneys and all those people that we trust to kind of keep guard of our justice system, that we could trust them. But now I have a slightly different opinion. I think probably most of them are okay, but I now know that there's some out there that are unscrupulous and the rules don't really mean a thing. In at least in certain cases. So it's it's hard to actually accept that, though, for a lot of people to get to the point of accepting that fact that these guys are, these people do exist in our system and are a problem. Kim Worthy comes to mind in the Devontae Sanford case.
It's a good thing to know that, though, because anybody who sees a case like this or any of the other cases like this, it kind of destroys your blanket faith in law enforcement, but it keeps you on your toes. Like, it makes you aware of what people are saying to you, and it encourages you to pay attention to what's going on with you so that you don't end up in the same type of situation. And I think that's a good thing.
Right. So obviously then, another high point for me was when I got to get together and get live with, Paul and Mark and Stacy on Paul's channel. And, probably the first time we'd all been together like that since Australia, I think. But, well, even though it was just a hangout, but anyway, but that was a lot of fun to get in there and mess around and talk with those guys.
Talk about sports ball.
That, you mean footy?
There was a lot of sports talk. I just remember that.
Hey, we took that banner to the stadium. We were trying to get, our picture. We did get our picture with it. Then these guys came up and were like, all getting pretty, I guess they weren't really amused at what we had done. So like, what is on there? What is on there? I guess they just had to make sure it wasn't like a hate kind of statement and it wasn't an advertisement for something. And as long as it wasn't in either of those two things, then it was okay. So I was like, hey, yeah, all right. So they let us, whatever. We just put it away and they walked away. One of them kept the card Stacy gave him. The other one handed it back. It was funny. Anyway. So anyways, that was fun. Anyway, talking with those guys and then wrapping it up. I mean, I got to talk to so many people in that last one. Holy moly, man. Sandra Greenman came on for a little bit and was talking with us. And, J-Jax was on there with us. I had Jamie with me pretty much the whole time. Jamie Hart, Sam William Henry, 582 for those of you, how you'd know him on Discord. I had him on with me for my entire live, the final one. Love Jamie. He's great. and then like I said, getting to talk to Sandra, she called in towards the end there. All the great clips that Mark Hodnott was getting of Steven playing Stacy's song Mama and Papa Avery for Steven and getting Steven's reaction for that. And he's passing these things along, right, to me so that I can upload them and people can see them and everything. There was just a lot of people coming together in this that were really, really building it and making it something really, really great. And leading to what we're going to start to talk about now, which is what Tracy and Pom Pom here can express for us is all the numbers of how it broke down, how much money was raised, all that sort of stuff. So how much, guys, was the final total for anybody that hasn't seen Tracy's video earlier?
The total amount of donations was $5,069.84. It's crazy.
I
That's
love
great.
hearing that.
That's great.
Yeah,
I know. I smile so big every time.
I know. The GoFundMe's were taken out. Those are $111.22. And then there are access handling fees for when you make deposits, and that is $139.10. So when the fees are taken out, each of the guys will receive $2,479.31.
Yes, guys. So
Nice.
that
Almost
means
$2,500.
Brendan gets 2,400 and what she said, and Steven gets the same amount. Also, they both get that amount, 2,400, and basically $2,400, folks. So that means Brendan's obviously going to not be hurting to buy meals for anybody that's coming to visit him. He's going to be able to get download things on his tablet. He's going to have money to do those sort of things. So I'm just glad to know that he's definitely going to be having whatever he needs and wants in that respect. Obviously, glad Steven is going to be able to buy himself maybe a couple things while he's there in prison, something else to ease his stay while he's waiting for all the things that are happening. Anyway, it was awesome that we were able to do it. It's awesome that everybody responded in the way they did so generously. It's overwhelming, and special thanks to Ravi, right?
Robbie.
Ravi, obviously, with the big donation that came in actually after MaM-A-Thon ended, but it was quite the generous donation. And so we have something special in mind for Ravi. We're at Rally. We're going to be getting together, and all the hosts are going to be getting together to sign something special and to give to Ravi. So that's going to be something cool, just because we were just so impressed by that generosity. And like I said, to be able to hit the 5,000 mark was truly monumental, I guess is the word I would want to use. Certainly didn't think we were going to be hitting that mark going in. I was probably a bit more conservative on my number, so I'm happy to have been proven wrong, though, in my estimate, to be sure. So it was a huge success. So obviously there was about 22,000 views across all the videos, right?
23.
23.
It's like 22,900.
So just shy of
Yep,
23,000 views.
23,900 something.
That's probably about a core group of somewhere between 1,800 and 3,000 people that were kind of jumping around that weekend on these lives and watching these lives and viewing them, because obviously it wasn't 20,000 people just jumping from one live to the other. So we're counting each person's live, so those are going to be repeat viewers. So obviously it's a core group of somewhere between, I'd say, 18 and 3,000 people that were just tuning in that weekend. And that's awesome. That's a huge group of people that were paying attention. So, I don't know. It was just such a huge success, so much more than I thought I could hope for. And it like really surpassed all expectations, in my opinion.
We got 177 donations.
That's awesome. That's 177 donations.
Mm.
So
From 17
it
it was from 17 different countries. I
It
think
was, yeah, I
That was
had
18.
in my analytics. Is that what the donations came from? 17 different countries?
No.
it came from 17 different countries. Sorry.
So, anyway, I did notice in my analytics though that we had people tuning in from about, I think it was 19 different countries actually, but and Ireland was a big one. They had shown up big during MaM-A-Thon weekend, which was interesting. They're not. I mean, they're usually there on my channel, but there was a lot of activity in the Ireland analytic for that weekend. It was interesting compared to other, countries that were in my analytics, for that time. Anyway, it was interesting. So it's great that we're reaching that many. Everybody knows here on my channel, I love the international supporters. I think they do a great deal for Stephen and Brendan, especially when they find their way out to rally time, because people notice when people traveled halfway around the world to be there at rally time for Stephen and Brendan. It gets noticed. The camera crews gravitate towards those people because it brings more attention. It gets people's attention, and it's interesting to people. So I'm happy we got, Capaldi, we've got Hodnot. They're all going to be there. Whoever else we're going to end up with, I mean, there's probably going to be more. Julie's coming from, as she would tell you, Canada, but as the rest of us would call it, Canada. So obviously there's another international supporter there. So, anyways, hopefully we'll have as many international supporters there at rally as possible. That's what MaM-A-Thon was also about, folks. Remember, we're trying to educate, but we're also trying to make people aware of rallies in June 15th. So we want people to be aware of that, and hopefully we get a lot of international supporters basically out for rally. So that's another big part of what we were trying to do, creating awareness and that sort of thing. Obviously, she's been very quiet this whole time, so now I'm going to talk about her. And that is Fen. She was part of the really, really cool promo you guys might remember that was leading into this. And, it was awesome. That promo was so cool. It was, and she has such a great voice for it, obviously. She's, and then beyond her doing that and helping out with that sort of stuff, she was also behind the scenes with Julie. And they were actually making sure, coordinating with mods, coordinating with people, making sure things ran smoothly, and making sure information was getting passed along, and making people aware of things when they happened, and which we were all doing for each other, but they were doing it in a really big way. They went without a lot of sleep, folks, to make sure that weekend went as well as it did, and so it's like I say, there's just a lot of people that were involved with it. It's not just the 4 hosts that are on screen. Really, it was really, really a bigger group of people. All the moderators taking their job seriously, and all the people who tuned in, out there, and generously gave. They deserve a part of the thanks as well. It's the entire thing, the entirety of it that really is awesome, and everybody deserves a big hand, even those who just tuned in to watch. So, any thoughts, guys? No.
Well, regarding the promo, Tracy's daughter took the voice track that I gave her. She found that wonderful music track for it and took Falcon's video that he had put together and somehow magically created that promo.
Yeah.
It was amazing what she did for it.
It was awesome.
It was wonderful.
Truly was.
That's the other daughter, not the one that was on.
Right.
That's Ashley, right?
Ashley, yes.
She's the YouTuber. So
Yeah.
Very
so
talented.
yeah.
So that was awesome.
That was awesome. And then the one that came after that was freaking awesome too, where it showed each of the YouTubers and yeah, with the train and all that.
That was amazing.
That was killer
that was
too.
my favorite.
Falcon and Ashley were cranking them out there, and they were pretty fantastic. But gotta say, I loved Finn's quite a bit. Me
too. I was really happy to be able to do it. I really was.
So that's awesome.
But as far as the MaM-A-Thon goes, I mean, just the fact that the community all came together the way they did. I mean, I was so afraid that nobody was going to show up, that we weren't going to, be able to raise any awareness or any money, and that is not at all what happened. I was
Right.
just
It
blown
was,
away by
yeah,
the
huge
community.
success. Right. I mean, like I said, I guess I was conservative in my expectations, and I guess maybe that's not so bad because I found them greatly surpassed. So, and I'm happy. I'm happy about that. Obviously, it was, um, just it was so awesome to really see all these people gathering together and getting together and really caring, and I mean, taking part in the live chats and all that stuff. I mean, it was great to see. And the negativity seemed to not be a part of it. That there may have been a few points where there was some, but for the most part, people kind of checked the negativity at the door, which is another great thing that I think is awesome. That's a credit to supporters for doing that and realizing what MaM-A-Thon was and checking the attitudes and the egos at the door and just saying this is about Steve and Brendan. That was beautiful. Gotta say, big hand for everybody that did that. So
I agree 100%.
yeah.
I was
So that was another part of it that was great. So, and looking back, I mean, it was just a great event. I'm going to continue to post snippets, on my channel, folks. I'm breaking out, each little talk I had with people, and I'm posting it. I'm even doing when I appear on other channels, like I did today. I appeared on Allie's channel at the beginning of her first live. So I pulled the snippet of me talking with her and Mama Phoenix and uploaded that today. You guys saw it before this. And I'll be doing that for everywhere where, me or that, or just people that I'm interviewing where I appear in MaM-A-Thon. I'll update just the segments of that. Obviously I've done Jinxie with Andy Newton already, uploaded that segment on its own, just by itself, and that sort of stuff. I love Jinxie. She's one of my favorites. So just had to plug Jinxie there a little bit. Anyway,
she's
I
pretty
had so
awesome.
many great people on, people that know this case so well, very knowledgeable. Andy Newton's awesome. That guy, I love his sense of humor. He knows this case well, but I also love his sense of humor. So it was a pleasure to have him on. That was awesome. So it was just a very, very, great weekend, honestly. So what is happening in the chat here?
I just want to say too that along with the totals that we have, I did make the first deposits today. So Brendan and Steve were both spent $300 today. That is the limit for how much you can send at one time.
Right.
So I have to make deposits. I have to make 9 deposits for each of them total. So 1 down, 8 more to go for each of them. But I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that I did, since we closed donations yesterday, I did already send the first payment to both of them today.
That's awesome. And then we'll have to obviously we'll keep everybody up to date and make sure you get to know that all the payments made it there, so that there's no question about it reaching its eventual destination, obviously. And then
I did get an email from Brendan today as well.
Yay.
And yeah. I actually got it from him before I did my live, but I didn't see it in time. And he very simply just said, thank you to you and everyone else that did the MaM-A-Thon for us both. I really appreciate it very much. Tell everyone that I said thank you. And a lot of hearts and things like that after that. And I did talk to Steve on the phone the next day. And he also was very appreciative and wanted to thank everyone. And they couldn't be happier with what they heard about how it went, how it turned out. Who was all on and what was discussed, and they're both very happy. So just want to make sure I got that out there too.
Right. Awesome. Great to hear from Brendan. I'm glad he's happy. Glad he's, heard about it and all that. It's, honestly, when I finish with these 2 cases, I intend to continue to follow wrongful convictions of youth, because it's really, when it comes down to it with these cases, I don't know how fired up I'd be or would have been if it didn't involve what I saw going on with that poor 16-year-old kid. in making a murder. I mean, that just woke something up in me where I was like, oh, that's acceptable. And where is that acceptable? Why is that acceptable? It's not, and I just keep thinking that when we find resolution on Stephen and Brendan and everything, I just, and I start wanting to branch out into other cases, I'm just feeling like making sure that this kind of crap gets brought to the forefront and we really, really start to address how we allow police officers to handle, impressionable kids like Brendan and kids younger than him, even who are, who may not even have mental limitations, but just maybe younger and just don't understand. It's one of the things that kills me about Brendan. You clearly understand the kid didn't understand his Miranda rights because he, number one, thinks he's going back to school. But then when he's informed he's being arrested, he thinks it's just for one day. This to me is clear proof he does not understand his Miranda rights, but he didn't understand his Miranda warnings. He just thought he was going to talk and nothing was going to happen. That's, to me, clear illustration that he doesn't understand the rights and the warnings that he was given. So, yeah, Brendan's what fires me up about this. So I'm actually very happy to hear his take. Obviously, we heard from Mark Hodnott that Stephen was very pleased with how it went. So, and I believe I posted that as a video for everybody to be able to see. So, Travis said he was going to pop in, but it looks like he was full of baloney, which is a bummer.
My
What?
baloney has a first.
So, Scooby is in the chat, though.
Hi, Scooby.
So,
Hi,
but
Scooby.
we'll be getting together with Scooby tomorrow, folks. So, I think we've covered everything. Hope everybody's was very pleased to hear the outcome of the donations. Sorry,
I was going to mention the list that I made of all the videos and the playlist.
Okay. All right.
So somebody had requested that we create a playlist of all the videos for the whole 49 hours. And I misunderstood and thought they wanted a list of it. So I made a document with a list of all the videos with the link and whose videos they were and the description in order. And I just put a link to that in chat. And then I realized that what they actually wanted was a playlist on YouTube so that you could just go to YouTube and turn on the playlist and the whole thing will just
Start
play.
playing them in order, right?
Yes. So
there he is.
I did that. And I will post the link for that. I understand that the links are kind of similar. The list is playlist and the now I've lost the word.
The playlist.
The one in YouTube is play, just play.
Right.
So that's that. And then I didn't know if you wanted to talk about the Kose Wrecking Crew store.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, I was supposed to talk about that sooner. But anyway, yes. So, those of you out there who are, part of the Discord community or whatever, or just, discovering, Erekose here over on YouTube, if you're interested, we have a little store opened up where you can buy. Number one, there's stuff in there from MaM-A-Thon, little souvenirs like shirts and things you can buy as little mementos of MaM-A-Thon itself. Also, there's in there a bunch of merchandise that have to do with Kose's Wrecking Crew, which is the little community that kind of came along when I started going live on October 18th of 2018. That were always there for my lives, and there's a community of people that researched this case and stuff, and they eventually took the name Kose's Wrecking Crew. A lot of that would be because of John Frack's book, obviously, The Wrecking Crew, who you guys know John Frack was on my kickoff live. Spoke with him for about 40 minutes. So that's where Kose's Wrecking Crew. You can also find merchandise there. That's Wrecking Crew merchandise if you're interested. It's there on Zazzle. I'll let Julie tell you about the financial end of that.
The items that are there are not, we didn't put the store together to make a profit off of it. It's not so that we could make money off of any of these items. We just put it together in case somebody wants a memento or a keepsake or something like that. When I created the store, my intention was to post all of these items and list 0 profit on them, and it would not let me. So it required me to put in something for profit. So I put the lowest amount for each item, and it's 5%. So each item earns 5% profit. So the details of that are, it all has to accumulate, and they won't even send that money until it's reached at least $50, unless I pay a fee or whatever. But like right now, it's at $7. So that's like change. But anything that comes in from that at all, I have the ability to donate to the guys. So I will split it in half and donate it just like we did with the MaM-A-Thon stuff. And I'll keep records of everything in case anybody wants to see that. But nobody other than Brendan or Steven will keep or be given or see a penny of any of that. None of this is for profit. It's just for funsies.
Mm-hmm. And the Kose Wrecking Crew, the Kose Wrecking Crew rally shirts are now available for another week for those of you who might have missed your opportunity before.
I will post that link. Yeah, it ended, but there were a lot of people who hadn't gotten theirs yet, so I let it go for another week.
All right, show it, Tracy. There you go.
Oh yeah, so here's the tote bag. It's actually very big. It's a canvas bag that I ordered. I have the t-shirt, and then I also got a keychain. So my own mementos, but I'll take the tote bag with me for the rally. It'll be perfect. Carry all my crap in.
I'm glad to know that tote bag is so sturdy. I'm definitely gonna want to get one of those.
Because the ones I did for Steve last year, they're kind of fabric and maybe not as durable, but this is definitely thicker material and more durable for sure.
That's awesome. Hi, Travis.
Cool. Hey, Travis. What's up, buddy?
Hey, everybody. I popped in.
Hi, Travis.
Yeah, good to see you. Just as we were getting ready to sign off, Travis shows up. Hey,
no,
buddy.
I was just mesmerized about the recollections and reminiscences. The
reminiscence.
Everyone's take on it. Of course, I've heard about the money side of it earlier with Tracy's live, which is of course fantastic. I'm like Julie. Every time I hear that 5,069 and change number, I get goosebumps. But I want to remind you of a story, Erekose, and you'll be honest and you'll confirm this. So Thursday, I call Erekose and ask how he's holding up and how he's doing, and he says, "Man, I'm really, really nervous. I don't know if anyone's gonna show up to this thing or what's gonna happen." And I said, "Don't worry about it." I said, "You're gonna do great. Y'all have done so much preparatory work with the promo that Finn was talking about earlier, doing the voiceover and Falcon's design and whatnot, and then Julie doing all of these links and everything." I told him, you've done everything in a very professional way. You've taken this kernel of an idea that Tracy had, and you all have fully developed it. It's so professional. I said, I bet you all end up with 300 people watching at a single time, and I bet you guys raised $5,000. Now, truth be told, I was being optimistic. I certainly overshot the 300 subscribers, but didn't I predict $5,000 on Thursday?
I actually did hit 320, I believe it was.
Okay.
During my first one. At one point, and when I ended, it was at around 280, I think it was. So, you did say that.
But those were I was being over optimistic, trying to encourage Erekose, but yeah, who knows going into something like that. All I knew is you all had done everything you could possibly do from a professional standpoint, other than, doing paid advertising, which defeats the purpose.
Right.
But you just did it the right way. You built in the transparency and the trustworthiness right up front, and you just took it from there. And then the guests, I mean, I was just, there was familiar faces, of course, and whatnot, but I mean, just the guests and Julie's presentation and Tracy's daughter, and then the author, and on and on and on. It was really amazing. There was something new, and Tracy, Julie, I think, mentioned her playlist earlier, but you don't have to watch that thing for 48 hours straight. She segmented it all up in chronological order. So if anybody's missed something, it's going to be really easy to find. Or if you want to rewatch something that was interesting to you or whatnot, it's going to be really easy to find. So that's something really neat.
That's something I'm endeavoring to do by trying to pull out each segment of each, guest. I'm trying to make it where people can go, oh man, I missed something in that person, and they can just go find that and then just be searching through that instead of a 4-hour live trying to find that needle. They can get it down to an hour's worth that they're searching for that needle. Right. So
if I could just mention 2 more quick plugs. We're trying to get Tracy and Stacy try and keep
and
that
Paul
and Paul over 1,000 subscribers so that they can broadcast live from the rally, which they're planning on doing. And Tracy, I believe, so the other thing, y'all, it was to raise money, raise awareness. And then, one of the great corollaries, I think Tracy mentioned, got a bump of over 200 subscribers on our YouTube channel. And then I know Stacy got a bump. I don't know about Paul. So that's where I think Tracy, from my understanding in the previous live, is within, she can get to 1,000 subscribers this weekend. There's no excuse for not getting her over the top. Where's she at? 950?
She was at 919 earlier.
919.
Okay. Well, something to keep in mind for Tracy and Stacy and Paul. That was a nice thing to see happen. Obviously, people who weren't subscribers on some of these platforms that were for sure crossovers from the other channels liked what they heard and saw and subscribed, and so was really happy to see that. And then this follow-up stuff you're doing is usually the first thing that people don't take care of, that you put in all the effort to have a very successful campaign event, and then it's real easy to let that go by the wayside. But you all advertised this from the beginning that it would be transparent, and it's certainly clear that within hours of closing off the donations, you're following through with the transparency campaign. It's very, very impressive. For those of you saying hi in chat and whatnot, I can't see it right now because I'm on my phone, but for all those saying hi, hello back, I love you. It was certainly wonderful, that large donation, but as all of you have also said, that's not to diminish that 100 and something other people that donated, whether it was $1 or $5 or $10, it all adds up, obviously.
Even if all you did was tune in to watch and didn't even donate, you're a big part of this. So
Great point.
Absolutely.
Great point.
Mhm.
Travis, you reminded me of a conversation that I had with Allie during the MaM-A-Thon. She said, I have to go take a nap before I go live again. Otherwise, I'm going to be asleep during my segment. And I said, they'll probably still watch. And she said, they probably will. She said, this community is loyal AF. And she wasn't kidding. This community is so awesome. And you can see it just by the way that this event went. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
You know, we've told this story before. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, but that just prompted me to remember the story about Finn's situation. The power grid in her neighborhood went out.
Oh, yeah.
So she had to, she checked into a motel and grabbed the ironing board and had her computer set up around her. And that's pretty
That's dedication.
die hard. I tried to convince her to go check into Fox Hills and let her know what she was doing, and she would probably get a good rate, but evidently she didn't take my advice. But yeah, there was a lot of things, a lot of hurdles people jumped over. Lack of sleep, no power.
Migraines, poor Linda.
Migraines.
Yeah, Linda. So, well, I think we've covered it. Thank you for being here, Travis. Thank you for being here, everybody. Finn,
Thanks for
you
having
haven't
me.
said much, but we love you too.
Yes, we do.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we do.
Now, obviously,
Great stuff.
Tracy was the one that came up with this idea and wanted to do this, and it went so well. So, thank you for that.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you to Ashley Strunzi for her help with the promos, along with Finn and Falcon Apata. Thank you to all the guests, all the moderators, and everybody who tuned in, along with everybody who donated. But hey, along with everybody who just tuned in and made it such a huge success. Thank you, everybody. It's a group effort.
That is.
Yeah, it was. I said that on Twitter. This is the very definition of a group effort. And it was everybody. It was everybody who hosted, who moderated, who guested, and who shared, and who watched, and who chatted, and anybody who just, didn't say a word but just watched all weekend. It was a group effort completely. And I need everybody, every one of those people.
And if you learned something new you didn't know previously, all the better.
Mm-hmm.
So we will try probably. It will be good to get together to do something similar again, but without the whole money aspect of it, it will probably be a little less stressful and a little more fun. So I look forward to that. Not right away, but I do look forward to that. Because that was pretty grueling, and I think we're all still recovering from that weekend.
Maybe post rally we can do it again or something.
A little bit after rally or
Yeah,
something.
talk about everything that happened.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So
Can I say a little something really
Sure.
fast? You guys are gonna make Linda cry if you don't click the like button. So make sure you click the thumbs up.
I need to do that. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for hitting the like button. I've been watching Game of Thrones videos. I was watching Teflon TV, and he was talking about how when you hit 500 likes, that it triggers the YouTube algorithm. I was like, yeah, maybe someday I'll be able to get to 500 likes.
Yeah,
And I'll be able to
remember to
trigger the
subscribe
YouTube
too.
algorithm. Anyway.
I'm gonna post Stacy's and Tracy's YouTube again.
Thanks, Tracy, for sharing almost in real time what the guys thought. Of course, with those guys, we, pretty much knew that was going to be the case, but it's just nice having a trustworthy, reliable conduit to get those sentiments out to everybody that they know, they appreciate it. It's hard to fathom, but you know, they get letters of support and whatnot, but when you have to buy a self-addressed stamped envelope from the canteen, commissary, whatever you call it, you know, it costs a tremendous amount of money just for them to respond to letters of support. And, you know, it's understandable that they can't keep up. In the first live segment Tracy did, she was explaining, you know, they have no concept of this social media. It's all
Right.
explained to them verbally. So, I mean, it's like, can you imagine what explaining private television is, and that they have essentially their own network, their own television network and 20,000 plus views. And how do you even try and explain that to somebody where that technology and those social media platforms were just at the dawn of their evolution when this happened, and when they, you know, went away, unfortunately. And I don't even understand how all this stuff works. And you know, just be able to hear that they know that there's love and support. Someone else mentioned Sandy Greenman, and when she came on with Erekose, and I'll tell you, that was pretty moving for me, because she explained that there was this significant period of time, and it's captured in MAM-1, partially in MAM-2, that she was kind of alone for a while, trying to get somebody to look at the case, and you know, she just felt alone. But that the tuning in periodically over the weekend just really touched her, and gave her a lot of encouragement. And that was nice to see. It was a very, very touching words.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
and
So, unless anybody else has anything else to say,
I was just gonna say, I was thinking the other day about how cars have changed so much. I mean, we're on the brink of having autonomous vehicles now, which must seem very futuristic to them, I would think.
that's, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're gonna
Are
have
we
to,
though? I
gonna have
mean,
to
there
learn how
seems to
to.
be a lot of resistance to it, in my opinion.
He's gonna have to learn how to work on the new cars.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've got backup cameras. They've got basically computers in the car. Now everything's computerized. It would be very strange, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Or to explain Uber or Lyft them. It's like, what? You know, why would you even want to do that? You know, and yeah, lot of stuff's changed, and so it's nice being able to know we can get reliable information to them, and reliable information back.
I agree. You know, they don't have any practical idea of what social media is actually like.
Mhm.
You know, hey, look, I wasn't in prison, and before 3 years ago, I didn't really have an idea of what it really looked like until I got involved in it. So, you know, but I'm sure that they might have some magical, kind of fantastical ideas about it, possibly being where they are. But in a way, it is kind of magical for them, because it gets this many people the ability to get together and you know, have concern and care about their plight and what they're going through and what's happened to them. So in that sense, there is a little bit of magic to it. So, you know, but obviously there's the good and bad side of everything, and you know, on and on it goes, yin yang and blah blah blah. But So
you're being humble. You know, it's all of you on this panel, you know, and Tracy for years trying to explain in common sense, lay language, what's happening legally, you know, that appeals to a certain type of person. And then you talking about the facts and different theories and trying to keep that factual and but being open-minded about it. And you know, Julie with her website that tracks the pleadings and just puts in real easy to understand color-coded language. You know, there's so much to try and explain to somebody on the inside what people are, you know, doing and how they're trying to be supportive and they're trying to get the word out and awareness and whatnot. But, you know, I'm glad for all of you that you got this feedback and that it turned out better than I think any of us could ever have hoped for. I think Tracy would say she never in her wildest dreams imagined that her initial idea would have ended up with this much success. But
yeah, but it's good to be
I
wrong.
don't
Or it's
think
good
it's
to have underestimated, right?
Yeah.
It had the potential. I knew it had the potential, and I told Steve that before, you know, we got into much of the planning. I just said that I think this had the potential of being big, but I still didn't know how well it would be received. You never know until you get into it, and so I was very happy that so many people enjoyed it, learned something from it, enjoyed just being a part of it. So those were all very good things.
Right. All right. So I think that about wraps it up for tonight, folks. Obviously, those are the totals of how generous everybody was for MaM-A-Thon and all the other good things that we've already discussed. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to a little bit of Stacy on the way out, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Most likely, I'll be on here with Scooby at some point tomorrow, so be looking out for that.
Thanks,
And
can I ask one
and
quick
thanks for everybody being here.
Can I ask one quick question before you part?
Oh, brother. Does anything go quickly with you? Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So let's say it came out to $5,069.11. How are you guys going to split the 11 cents?
I actually did think about that, and I just throw in an
Ah!
extra penny to make it even because I did think that was going to happen.
So you were just going to put a penny in, huh?
Yeah, I was going to put a penny in, an extra penny in, so that it would be even.
Just give them each a half a penny.
It came out even.
Peace, you guys. Love you all. Have a great weekend.
Funny guy,
You too,
Travis.
Travis.
Funny
Hi,
guy.
Travis.
And all right, so here we go.
Thanks, Erekose.
Uh-oh. What's buffer? Here we go.
Two years since MAM, now here I go again. To confine innocent men in a 10 by 10. Fates, oh, now the men deserve. But fear breeds silence in Manitowoc. You don't say nothing cause you know you're cops. But someone knows something, yet everyone plays ball. I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all. Everything about the case was suspicious. I hope the Biden teeth of justice isn't so vicious. For those who bred the lie, they temporarily preserve. From time into typos to Brendan's so-called confession, to to the fact that Peterson was out of town when she went missing. How can we forget Andy, Sam, William, Henry Cole? I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all. So much planted evidence now anyone can see. The magic bullet and blood in the RAV. And even evidence that defies gravity. The key that turned up 7 searches later with none of her DNA at all. Let's brain fingerprint them all. I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all. Who's pulling strings? I want to know that top rank. For those who pay attention, all the unbanks thing. And those that are smiling, they always know who would take the fall. I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all. I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all.
All right. Remember to subscribe to Stacy, Tracy, and Paul. Go over and do those. Make sure we get those guys over 1,000. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe here. And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.